everybody. Thanks for, as always, taking a little time to take care of yourself. That's what this practice is really about today. We're going to do really soft, stretchy, slow flow, good recovery practice. We'll try to focus on all kinds of different spots as we go along, but we're also going to keep this one a little bit on the shorter side too, so that it really is something you can just fit into your day whenever you might need just a quick little midday stretch, or this is a good one for right before bed as well. Morning time is okay too, I guess. Anyway, lots of focus on just keeping the low back nice and loose, opening up the hips a little bit, and then really just putting the focus on moving slowly with your breath. So let's start out. We're going to swing around onto our mat and lie down with the knees open, the bottoms of the feet together. And then, if you have little blocks or something that you want to put under your knees or thighs for support, you sure can. Otherwise, I'm just going to let gravity go to work right here on these inner hip flexors right along the creases of your hips. Sometimes it's even nice to just use your fingertips and kind of press around on some of those really tough spots there, just to bring your awareness to where it is we're trying to open up, and then eventually find a place where you can just sigh out a couple of deep breaths and relax. Hands can stay on your hip bones, or you can just rest them maybe somewhere up on your belly or your bottom ribs, so that you can feel your breath moving in and out. Slow down your mind. Slow down your body. And feel the muscles of your face relax and your spine get a little heavier. Let's just breathe here. About 5 or 6 more full cycles of breath, really putting some effort into lengthening your inhales and deepening your exhales. Feel that sense of calm start to wash over you. And then we're going to just try to stay in that energy as we move through this practice. Real calm, soft, taking things nice and slow. Go ahead, bring your hands and feet back to life. A little wiggle of the fingers and toes. Let's keep the legs right where they're at, but on your next inhale, and roll your wrists around a few times as you start to bring your arms just up into the air. And then we'll grab the right fingertips with the left and just stretch back. Like you're pulling the fingertips towards your face, and at the same time you're pressing the palm of your hand up toward the sky or the ceiling. Shoulder blades stay relaxed. Little wrist and forearm stretch there. And then swing that right arm right across the chest. Hook it with your left elbow and pull as far as you can without your right shoulder blade leaving the mat. So want to keep the back relaxed. Just stretch along the seam of the biceps and triceps and around into the back side of the right shoulder. And release. Left hand flexes, right fingertips pull back, press the palm up and the shoulder blade down at the same time. Good. Release. Catch the left arm. Keep your left shoulder blade from rolling up here. Just want to pull right across the heart, right across the chest. Three, two, and one. All right. Let's let it go. We'll take both arms up and over for a moment. As long as you can be through your ribs, your side bodies, fill up your chest, your belly, your lungs, and then on your exhale, just going to circle those arms down, find the outside of your thighs or knees, and you may actually need to just kind of help them back together, and then take both knees up and in for a little squeeze, and some gentle light rocking from side to side. Just rolling across the lumbar spine, from one edge of your low back, outer hips to the other. And then start to make almost a circular motion with your knees and hips here. A couple times around. And switch direction, go the other way. Nice and slow. And back through center, pause right there. Let's keep the right knee up close. We're going to extend the left leg all the way back out long onto the mat. Pull up and in with your right thigh until you get a pretty good compression going on the lower right side of your belly and along the inner crease of your hip. Wind relieving pose, Ekapada Apanasana. Once you find that good, sturdy amount of pressure, don't let up. Keep it steady. Keep the breath coming. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you can release and just extend the leg up. If you're pretty tense in the hamstrings, you might not need to do much here. This could be plenty. You can also put a bend back in that left knee anytime if things are starting to feel a little too intense in your hips. Otherwise, if you want a little more, you can finally lift up. Now it's okay to bring those shoulder blades off the mat. In fact, that's what we want to do. Lift up, find a little bit deeper stretch, and breathe. Chin stays tucked into the chest so that you get the length up the back of the neck there as well. 3, 2, 1. Release down. Right, upper back comes all the way down to the mat first, and then let the right knee bend and take it across your body for a little spinal twist here. This might be my favorite little opening sequence of all time. It's just got a little bit of everything, a little twisting, a little detoxing, a little stretching. Oftentimes people are so surprised by how much your hips, your low back, and your hamstrings have in common, right? They're very, very much connected to one another. And they tend to serve as the shock absorption system for your body. So they take a lot of wear and tear, and if one of them is tight or tense, so are the other two. the low back is real tight, your hips are going to be tight. If your hips are tight, so are your hamstrings. And it works that way for any two of the three. Will always follow suit with the others. So we want to make sure that when we're working on loosening up the hips, that we also pay attention to the low back, to the hamstrings, and that whole combination needs to go together. Right, let's roll it onto your back. Take a full body stretch in between sides. Both legs long, both arms long. Inhale, maybe you can already feel just a little bit of difference in the right side. You might feel like you're an inch or two longer already. Good. Left knee comes in. As the arms come down, we'll capture that knee, hold here. Modification would be to just keep your right knee bent, no problem. Find some good pressure and squeeze. You're not only compressing your hip joint here, but you're also compressing the internal organs, getting that sort of cleansing effect of rinsing out the digestive system, the elimination system. These low belly squeezes are good for your metabolism as well. So don't skimp on that. Take about as much pressure as you can handle for 3, 2, and 1. And then release the intensity, extend the leg up. Once again, this could be it. Don't have to do much more, or you're welcome to add that little lift. Walk your hands up your leg until you find a deeper hamstring stretch. Breathe, smooth and steady. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the upper body. Bring that knee back up nice and close once more, and then take it across. Rotate as far as you need to. Sometimes I like to even go all the way onto my side for a second so my hips can fully rotate, and then just keep a little pressure on that left knee or thigh so that it doesn't want to unwind. And now you can work the upper body, trying to get those shoulder blades to relax. And you create a lot more leverage in your spine on this twist. Two, and 1. On the exhale, you start to slowly unwind. Coming onto your back, let's do that full body stretch one more time. From fingers to toes, reach it out. And then collect the knees back in, both at the same time now for the full squeeze. And just notice the difference in the low back from the first time we did this. Rock it gently. And we want to keep the back really relaxed. So instead of rocking and rolling up and down today, let's just take it over to one side. You can curl up here for a moment. Practice, like we said earlier, is all about just taking really good care of the bodies. Give yourself as much time as you need to come on up. We're going to swing around and meet up with each other in child's pose for a couple of breaths. Now this child's pose, if you would like, can be really wide through the knees like I'm going to do, or you can keep the knees together. It's honestly your choice, depending on what feels best in your low back. And then arms can stretch forward, or if you'd rather, take them back along. alongside the body. There's a few different options there. And we're not going to be here forever, really just resetting the spine. And then we'll start to make our little slow flow practice and build our way through that sequence. Next inhale, lift your chest a little bit. If your knees are together, you may want to just separate them a little bit. You don't have to go really wide, but you are going to want a little bit more space here. We're going to take the left arm and do this threaded needle position where we bring the arm and scoop it underneath. Usually when we do this pose, we're way up here in tabletop and we keep the butt up nice and high, but today we're going to try to keep it back in child's pose a little bit more, just so that we keep working on the low back. So scoop left arm underneath of you, and then turn your gaze to the right, let your left ear relax, and my right hand is just going to keep reaching forward. So then I got a good stretch right in the thoracic spine, mid back, wrapping around into that left shoulder a little bit. We'll breathe here for 5, 4, feel your belly and your back rise and fall. 3, 2, and 1. On your next inhale, we're going to shift forward up and out of this pose. So now we will come up to the knees, and as we do, we're going to bring that left arm all the way up. Okay, right here, I might need to make a little adjustment because I'm going to pivot this open. So if my right knee is really, really wide, I'm just going to swing it so that it's underneath my body a little lower, and then we can open it up. Pivot and stretch right there. So nice long stretch through the left side body. Left arm reaches up. Breathe, take a look down. We want to stack the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, so you can make that little adjustment. And then if you're feeling good, see if you can float that foot up for a moment. It's not necessary, but it is a great way to do some side body work, some strengthening work here. If this feels pretty good, stay put. If you're wanting a little more, you can bend, try to reach back, find your ankle or your foot, and then just push your heart and your hip bones forward and breathe. You can keep your gaze down at the ground. That does 2 things. It helps you stay steady, and you're also going to get a nice stretch in the left side of your neck there. Last but not least, it's going to show us where we're going to put that left foot. So from any of these variations, whether you're holding the foot, the ankle, or you're just stretched out long, left foot is going to come around on our next breath out, and it's going to go just like this. We're going to swing it around and set it down. Once I've got my left foot on the ground, I'm going to stretch back through the right leg, come into a nice deep lunge, and just let the hips move around a little bit. Eventually, we're going to lower all the way down onto the right knee. And then we'll start to build this up into a full Anjaneyasana. So just a nice low kneeling lunge. Pull the low belly muscles in to support you here. Sides of the body nice and long. Tilt the head back a tad if you want more of a challenge. Or just roll the eyes up and breathe. 3, 2, 1, keep the lunge, but bring the hands around behind. Lock the fingers together right here. Pull your knuckles towards your tailbone and lift again. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. And then softly release, come down to your hands. Good, we're gonna come up off that back knee now, and we're gonna turn and pivot around. So I'm going to flip sides, but you just walk those hands around. You'll be facing that right edge of your mat. Exhale. When you get to the side, all 10 toes are now turned. into a wide leg forward fold, and you can just let your head hang heavy. Shake out any tension in the neck, the shoulders. Let the weight shift between your feet a little bit. So loosen up knees and ankles. Exhale, feel the weight of your head drop a little closer to the mat, still working on lengthening up the backs of the legs. Keep a little baby bend in your knees. If that's too much, just soften up around behind the kneecaps there. Two, and one. All right, inhale, come about halfway up, just breathe. Exhale, fold again, 2 more times. Inhale. Pull your navel in tight, use your core muscles. Exhale, fold. Once more, big breath in. Exhale it all out, and I'm just changing position so that I sink back up with you. Now we're gonna walk those hands all the way around until we're facing the back of the mat. Drop all the way down onto your left knee here, and this time press back and stretch out your right hamstrings. You can push your hips back as far as you need to. Some people like to sit all the way down. For most of us, just a little push back will feel good. Right toes are flexed slightly. 2, and 1. As you shift your weight into your front foot, it's going to be just long enough to take it to downward facing dog. First real down dog of the practice. Give it a moment. Bend and release the knees a few times. All right, and then lower down. And as you set your knees on the ground, we're going to take the right arm and thread it through. So right arm underneath this time. Left hand stretches forward, turn your gaze to the left. Let your tailbone and your hips be really heavy, and enjoy the stretch in your upper back and your right shoulder. Three, two, all of the exhale out on 1. All right. We start to bring it up. Now remember, we're going to pull the right arm out from underneath, and we're also going to shift onto the left knee. So if that means you need to scoot that knee in toward the middle of your mat a little bit, kickstand your toes behind you so you can open up. Modified Vashistasana. Stretch again right here. Down those left hip flexors, all the way down that entire line of the body. You can make that feel even more long by stretching your arm forward. If you want some core strengthening, you might come up off of this foot. If you want some quad stretching and a little bit more stabilizer muscle work here, you can reach back. Find your ankle or the top of your foot and breathe, pushing the ground away. Steady the gaze down if it feels good. You can really turn the gaze down like you're going to touch your chin to your left shoulder and get the right side of the neck stretched out. 3, 2, 1. Let go of the foot. Everybody's looking down. We can see where that right foot's going to go. It's going to swing all the way around. We're just going to put some weight into the right foot, stretch the left leg back, and then move that lunge position. Forward and back, a little side to side, just rock it. Taking your time to eventually ease all the way down onto the left knee, untuck your toes behind you so that you have to use a little bit more of those low belly muscles and hip flexors. We start an upright position, and then you can add as much of a back bend to that lunge as you'd like. It should feel like a good deep hip stretch as well. And I'm squeezing all the tiny muscles behind and below my belly button to kind of keep me upright here. That's good use of the bandhas. 4, 3, 2. I'm going to bring the hands around behind, lock the knuckles up. You can just keep your hands here at your low back and pull the shoulder blades back. That's good enough. If you do want more, then you stretch the knuckles down and maybe lift them off your back. But take care of your body. Do what works for you. Breathe again for 3, 2, and 1. And then release. We're coming all the way down. And we're going to lift up off that back knee first. Make sure you're ready to pivot around, and then we go all the way to the side. You guys stay where you're at. I'm going to flip back around. Hold in Prasarita. Padottanasana, same wide leg fold, hands on the ground, feet on the ground. Option to stretch your hands back further through your legs, maybe out for your ankles, or my personal favorite is to walk your hands forward a few steps in front of the shoulders, kind of like you're doing down dog with your feet really wide apart, and then push your hips back and drop your forehead and your chest back into that space between you and your feet there. Turning the head a little side to side. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and then up onto your hands. On 1, we'll turn it around. That brings us back to the front of the mat, and we'll softly lower all the way down to the right knee, and then press back and stretch the left hamstrings. I'm using my right hand here on my foot just to gain a little extra oomph, but you can certainly keep both hands down on the ground. If you want to do this pose and core strengthen at the same time, you put your hands behind your back. Don't use your hands at all. There's lots of different options. Sometimes crossing both hands over to the outer edge gives you great big side stretch. And then, of course, you splits people. This is the preparation for splits, so you can work on it. I will tell you later this week I'm going to post another class all about the splits, so you might just want to hold off a little bit, but it's up to you. All right, that's it. That's our simple flow. Let's take it through just a couple rounds here now, moving with the breath. So you're going to come back into your front foot for a moment, press back, exhale into downward facing dog. All right, drop to the knees. And then we're going to go right arm up and open first here. Just swing that right arm all the way up. Now this time we'll do a little bit more classic version of that threaded tabletop. But we're going to stay up on the knees. We're not going to push back to child's pose. We're just going to tap through and inhale, swing right back up. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, take it back up. Once more on your own. All right, inhale as you draw back up, pivot on your left knee a little bit, open up. Right leg stretches out long, full breath in. Stay on your exhale or lift your right foot, capture, give a little kick, and open your heart. Gaze is down, right foot releases, comes around from the back, and you plant it in front of you. Can come off that back knee just to get the hips situated, or you can stay off the back knee and rise for high lunge. Either one will go right into our lunge position from here. Then we'll bring the hands around behind once again. Lock them up, open the shoulders, one big inhale. Hands release all the way down to the mat on the exhale, pause. Turn it to the side. Inhale, lengthen once here. Exhale, little bit deeper fold. To your fingertips again, spin it around. Lower down to your back knee and press back to flex. Pretty simple. Shift your weight into your front foot, take it into downward facing dog, and exhale here. And drop to your knees. Left arm reaches up. Underneath the body, scoop, tap the shoulder down. One, do it again. Inhale. Exhale, keep that navel pulled tight all the way through. One more time, take it up. Take it through. Reach back up on your inhale. Little pivot on the right side there, pardon, so that the left leg can stretch out long, open. Maybe you want to float the foot, maybe you want to grab it. Take the ankle, lift the heart, push your hips forward an inch. Gaze goes down, left foot comes around from the back to the front and up off that right knee for a moment. Here's where you kind of crawl into the lunge, and then you can keep it in this high position if you'd like. Arms come all the way up and over on an inhale. Take them around behind your back as you exhale. Lock them up again and stretch. Heart center lifts, navel pulls in, and release. Down to the low lunge position, pause right there. Just let the hips relax for a moment. Take it around to the side, wide leg fold. Any variation that you'd like. The hamstrings as long as can be. Get around to the front and drop down onto the back knee completely. We're going to press the hips back and flex. Fold over the right side. Listen close. We're going to go one more time, and we're just going to start from here and do that in the second half. Skipping the threaded needle, just shift your weight forward. Once again, high or low. Makes no difference. Arms come up. Good. Hands go behind. Shoulder stretch on the inhale. Exhale, release. Hands down. Pivot up. Off the back knee, take it around to the side. Exhale, fold. Let's put the hands on the hips this time. Soften the knees, and we'll come all the way up in this posture. Just for this last round, do a little supported back bend at the top. Pushing your hips forward. Try not to tense up your glutes too much. And then all the way back down. Cross that right to the ground. Good. Walking around, this time as you pivot toward the back, don't drop to that knee. Just keep both legs strong and straight. Left toes can flex toward the nose. You can keep that left foot relaxed. And breathe. Two, one. Now sink into your lunge. All the way to the knee, or just let the right knee hover. And we'll start just that little sequence again. Hands around behind. Lock them up. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. it to the side once more. And fold. Hands to the hips, squeeze your waist. Remind yourself to use your core. Keep your knees soft. Right there, a little bend in the knees goes a long way. Then hands move around behind. You can really kind of give your hips a good push forward. Take it right back down. I like to just put my fingertips right in the creases of my hips and fold slowly over so that I know I've got my alignment right. Hands back to the mat. Walk it around to the front. Last time, stay there. 2 straight legs, pyramid pose, Vashistasana. Option to flex the front foot. You will probably see something a lot like this in the next sequence that we do, because like I said, we're going to work on the splits, but we're going to do it to the story of Hanuman. And Hanuman has a pretty amazing story, and it's fun to know the story of some of the postures. So be on the lookout for that class coming up later this week. All right, this time, as you shift your weight into your front foot, take a step forward with the back foot. We'll do one little upside down forward fold here at the top of the mat. Just shake it all out, loosen it up. Swing and swing your hips around a little bit. All right, one and only one sun salutation. Here it is. We're going to roll and stack it all the way up. Again, just a little support at the low back. And we're going to roll it right back down nice and slow. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Step 1 foot, then 2 feet back. And let's do a slow motion vinyasa here. And feel free to use your knees, just to change it up. Elbows really tight to the ribs. Building some good strength in the upper body. Toes are tucking behind me until I can lower all the way down. And then really roll this cobra up. And let's go a little higher in your cobra. Remember that cobra pose is going to keep the hips and thighs on the ground. Unlike up dog where those things are lifted, we want them relaxed on the mat here so that we're really focused in the lumbar spine. You can push up pretty high in this pose. Define what you're looking for. I like to twist my shoulders a tad. And then release all the way down. And instead of taking it to down dog, let's push it up and back to child's pose. Nice job. All right, take a full exhale or 2 here. And when you're ready, you're just going to come on up, kind of flip yourself right into a seat. Like I said, just a good recovery practice. Nice way to move your body, get some good stretches in, but nothing too intense, so that you really do have some time for recuperation, especially if you're practicing a lot. And I know some of you have said that you're practicing more yoga than you've ever done in your life before, and that's great, but just remember that you have to give the body some time every now and again. And I need to take my own advice when it comes to making sure I build in some restful practices myself. So thanks for joining me on that today. We're going to roll it down and pretty much just call it a day. Take it nice and slow, a little help from the core, eventually all the way onto your back. Give those knees one last squeeze. Let's extend the legs straight up toward the ceiling. Point and flex the feet a few times. Take it into a happy baby, bend the knees, or you can take it right out to a little straddle stretch if that feels better to you. And then as you let go of your feet, I'm going to let you pick the very last part of the sequence. If you want to put your feet down, do a little bridge stretch, might feel good. Maybe you need Just a little swing, sway, or one more good twist. Always up to you. I would not necessarily recommend going upside down and doing a bunch of shoulder standy plow stuff, just because you can run the risk of compressing your low back up, and we just did all that work to lengthen it out. So you might not want to do those postures just today. There's nothing wrong with them in general, but after a good low back lengthening, sometimes those poses just don't feel too good. It's your body, however. You do what's right for you. I'm going to finish in the same pose we started in. I'm going to let my knees come back open again, and my hands just rest somewhere comforting on my chest, belly. And let the natural rhythm of the breathing come back slowly. And then just let go. Anything else that you're still hanging on to, now's the time. Just offer it up. Be sure that you relax any tension that you feel in your face, corners of the eyes, cheekbones, jaw. Just let it all go. And as always, you are more than welcome to get comfortable and rest here in Shavasana for as long as you would like. Especially in a restorative practice like this, we do want to take plenty of time to let the body relax. So there's no need to rush out of this. There's no need to get up. Just continue on. I'll just say thank you so very much, as always, for hopping on with me. I'll see you again very soon. Continue to take good care of yourselves and each other. Namaste.